Blue shadows on the trail.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Cowboy,
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. The show's brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. As an American family agent, Kim believes that there is so much more to insurance than the policy itself. It's about providing you with dependable protection and services. Kim believes that trust and credibility can't be demanded. It can only be earned by what you say and what you do. Give her a call at 651-482-1598 and tell her Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
Did you know that the members of the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, or MHA, provide over a quarter of the state's housing? That's housing for more than 1 million residents. The members of MHA agree to abide by a professional code of ethics, and they know that happy residents are key to a successful business. When you're out looking for your next apartment, remember that rental references are a two-way street. Before you rent, ask if the owner is a member of MHA. If not, ask why not, and tell them to visit mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com. If you're an owner or manager or even an accidental landlord, you owe it to yourself to learn how the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, its classes, certification programs, resources, staff, and faculty can help you succeed. Don't be a good landlord. Be a great one. Visit mmha.com, mmha.com.
Well, we are talking about this recent and most, surprising would be the word for it, Gallup poll on what gives people stress in their lives and which states in the U.S. are the most stressed, which ones are the least stressed. And as I mentioned before, it seemed a pity that they had to pay people to actually find this out. If you enjoy your life more, you have less stress. And they found Hawaii, of course, was the least stressed state in the Union, and Rhode Island was the most stressed. But as I was saying, why is it that people have stress in their life? Why don't we deal with that a little bit? Because that's something that we deal with a lot. And as I just said at the end of our last segment, I believe that if you're honest in your own self-appraisal of your own life, you'll find that most of the stress, not all, but most of the stress that you feel is self-imposed. And I see that as a property management company that deals with homeowner association and homeowner association boards. Oh, the level of stress is very high. Have you ever noticed that it seems like in life today that we're getting to a point where that the way we greet one another is not how are you? I'm fine. How are you? And the thing that you hear more often than not is, oh, I'm stressed, oh, busy, and then it goes with the rolling of the eyes, and that is somehow replaced our greeting. You know, we've got this understanding, oh, hey, I understand, I feel your pain, I know how much you're under stress. And why is it that we feel stress? Well, when I take a look at homeowner associations and what's taking place, a lot of time I think it's about something that's very simple. And, you know, a lot of answers in life really are very simple. Just because they're simple doesn't mean that they're easy to do. And so I think simply what's taking place is that people are just cramming too much in their life. It starts with the homeowner association that tries to cram a lot more on that agenda when they meet monthly as a board. Of question that I'll ask some of our clients sometimes. Why do you have to talk about 20 items at the meeting tonight? Just because someone brought it up? I mean, if someone brought it up, you should ask the question, are we prepared to talk about it? If you're not prepared, guess what? You're just going to be talking in circles. When you talk in circles, you're not going to have any answers. If you don't have any answers, then you're going to start worrying. And when you worry, what do? You, in a circular pattern, start thinking about it all over again. You don't have any answers. And so what ends up happening is a lot of times I'll see homeowner association board meetings that aren't going anywhere except for taking up a lot of time. And so first thing I will ask is, how about narrowing the focus on the items you've prepared for, that you have information on, and why not allocate some of those other issues to be dealt with at a future meeting? How about in a homeowner association? Let me ask this, if you're on a board, why is it that everything needs to be done in the spring? You know, we get so anxious after the winter period, and spring finally comes. There's that spring inspection thing. People do that walkout inspection of the property, begin to list and excitedly all the things that need to be done. But then how many times is the board requiring that all of those projects and all of those items get done all at once? And I'll ask again, why do they need to be all done at once? You're collecting money over a whole year period of time. You haven't collected everything for the year. So how can you start all of the projects when you don't have all of the money that you need collected yet? It might be better because of cash flow. It might be better because of your own sanity on the board and that of your property manager as well, and a lot less burnout if you try to stretch things out, and then you can, like I said, in a more focused way, tackle things that need to be done, but you can do that in a very deliberate, purposeful way instead of saying, oh, we've got to do it all at once. You know, and so in other words, what we need to do sometimes is create a little bit more margin in your life. When you stop and think about it, when are you the most stressed? When you're driving in the car. It's not just because it is bumper to bumper traffic and you can't get home. That's not the reason why. The reason why is because you're late for something. Soon as you become late, you didn't put enough time, not enough margin to make sure that you could get there on time. That adds to the stress. So why not put a little bit more margin in your time? Why not be a little bit more realistic? There is nothing that is more virtuous for a person to be able to try and attempt to put 10 things in their life when they can honestly only do 7 in a day. Why not do that and do it well? So I think if people put a little bit more margins in their life, there'd probably be a lot less stress. Well, in the last few minutes of the show here, I wanted to tackle, again, some other things. I heard some feedback. I started talking about some of the legislative updates that were taking place in the city, in the state of Virginia. We talked last week about imposing on late fees and what was taking place there. And I wanted to talk about another issue today that I think is very important here, and that is House Bill 791. They've just passed a bill in the state of Virginia that is going to add an additional step for an HOA before they can enforce the rules in their association. What they say must take place now is that owners must be given a notice and an opportunity to cure the item before the association imposes charges or suspensions for a violation in the governing documents or the rules and regulations. And so it sounds on the face of things that it is pretty reasonable, doesn't it? But one thing that I would like to, I guess, submit to you, and it's unfortunate, legislators try to look for a quick fix so they can say, I've handled and dealt with an important problem. But we've got to remember that one size does not fit all. To have in place an opportunity that before you find someone, giving them a chance to cure and to take care of the issue, yes, I think that's reasonable. And I would recommend to all of our clients that they try and do that as much as is possible. So you can do that in certain instances that you can't in others. For example, if you're in a HOA of single family detached homes, and the association has a rule about how you must keep up with the lawn because it's your lawn. If someone had a grass that was growing to the height of 2 or 3 feet and allowing noxious thistle weeds to grow, yes, that would be a nuisance. And yes, the association should allow that person to have some time to be able to correct it and cut it. And cut the grass and get that taken care of without imposing a fine or fee. But that doesn't happen in all the cases. Let's say now that the person is parking, and where they're parking is in a no parking zone because it's needed for emergency vehicles to get through in case someone needs an ambulance, in case a fire truck needs to get to a home that's on fire. I don't know that you necessarily in that case want to necessarily give someone an opportunity to cure something before it gets taken care of, because you're talking about an issue that could deal with someone's own life and safety. And so, as always, even though I think it's good that they probably tried to deal with this, once again, I think that what legislators need to see a little bit more is that one size does not fit all. They need to take a little bit more time to try and understand an issue before they try to come up with its solution. Well, that's all the time that I have for today's show. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend and look forward to seeing you here next Saturday on Where You Live.